Hello everyone. So today we will be continuing the last video that is for the chapter Respiration in Organisms. So we ended up the last video with a question that do other organisms or other animals breathe in the same way like human beings? So yes, animals such as lion, cows, elephants, lizards, snakes, they have lungs in their chest cavities like human beings, and yes, they do breathe in the same way like human beings. But do other animals or other organisms also do the same? The one which don't have lungs, or all of them have lungs? So let us see by taking by taking an example. So we will be taking first example of cockroach. So let us see how cockroaches do respire and how respiration takes place. So in cockroach, there is a network of air tubes which is called as tracheae, and this tracheae is responsible for gaseous exchange in cockroaches. So tracheal system in the body, it is going to carry oxygen from the air to all parts of the body. Okay, now from where does the air is going to enter in the trachea? So the air passes into the trachea by a specialized opening which is called as spiracles. You can see on the external side of the body there is smaller openings which are present. These are called as spiracles, and spiracles and trachea together makes the respiratory system of cockroach. So basically what happens is the oxygen rich air enters through these openings which are spiracles inside the trachea, inside the body, and through the trachea it is transferred or transported to a whole part of the body of the cockroach. So here you can see the labeling. At the external side there are smaller openings which are spiracle, and small network of trachea is present. And here in this you can see how the oxygen enters through the spiracle and how the carbon dioxide is removed through the spiracle, right? So there is inhalation and exhalation going on. Okay, so this is how breathing takes place in cockroach. Now let us see breathing in earthworm. So how does the breathing takes place in earthworm? Does it takes place in the same way like it did in cockroach? So in earthworm, oxygen and carbon dioxide are able to diffuse across the cutaneous surface. Now what is cutaneous? Cutaneous means the skin surface. Okay, and the process of exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide across the skin surface, that process is called as cutaneous respiration. You can see the skin or the cutaneous of the earthworm is very much moist and slimy. It is because of secretion of mucus. Now the oxygen is going to diffuse from the external environment across the body surface, and it is going to enter the blood of the earthworm. So this is how basically through the skin earthworm breathes. In the same way, in frogs also, even if there are lungs present in frogs, but still they can breathe through their skin because their skin is also very much moist and slippery, right? So this was about earthworm. Now let us see about breathing in fish. How does the fish breathe? So normally, like basic idea, we all have basic idea about fish, that through mouth the oxygen enters inside the body of the fish, and through the gills the carbon dioxide are removed out. Okay, so all fishes have these gills present. These gills are located on either side of the head of the fish and behind the mouth cavity. Okay, so there is a pair of gills present. In bony fishes, the gills are covered with a flap like structure which is called as operculum, whereas when we compare it with the cartilaginous fish, there is absence of operculum, whereas it is if you can say the gill slits replaces the operculum. Okay, now what happens is the water which consists of oxygen, it enters through mouth inside the body of the fish, and the carbon dioxide rich air, it comes out of the body through operculum that is from the gills. Okay, so this is how basically the oxygen enters and the carbon dioxide is removed out in the fish. Okay, so you can see that the oxygen is passing through the gills and coming out, and the carbon dioxide is coming out through the gills by the operculum. Okay, so the gills play an important role in respiration in fish. Okay, now let us see respiration in plants. So yes, plants also respire. We have seen this in our first chapter, that there is presence of stomata in the leaves. Okay, now what does stomata do is, stomata keeps on opening and closing, and this opening and closing, basically it is going to be responsible for exchange of gases as well as for the transpiration. Okay, so through leaves the respiration takes place through stomata, but not only leaves but also roots do respire. Okay, so how do roots respire? There are the structures called as root hairs present in the root. You can see there are smaller hair like structures which are present on the main roots, so those are called as root hairs. Now what happens is, these root hairs go deep inside the soil, and there is air space which is present in the soil, right? Air is present in the soil as well. So the air enters the root hair, air enters the root through root hair, and that is passed through all the body of the plant. Okay, so this is how respiration in plants takes place by two parts, that is leaves and roots as well. Okay, so root absorbs the air from the soil. So this was all about the chapter. I hope everything is clear. Thank you for watching the video, and take care of yourself and keep breathing.